Welcome back to the Archive Network. Aurelius here with Malik, curators of the Lineage Archive. We left House of Genghis Khan, Borjigin. Last time in the grand halls of Karakorum, the Borjigin reveled in glory. Today we pick up where we left off. Imagine a city rising from the endless grasslands. Karakorum, the gilded capital of the Mongol Empire, was a sight to behold. It stood as a testament to the ambition of the Borjigin. Here, traders mingled, soldiers marched, and delegates from distant lands exchanged ideas. This city was not just built, it was a vision realized.
Karakorum was more than a city. It was a symbol of Borjigin power, yes, but also of their aspirations and the weight they carried. Genghis Khan's legacy was immense, and his heirs faced the daunting task of uniting a vast empire. They were not merely rulers. They were custodians of a dream, stretching from the Pacific to Europe.
Under Ogedai Khan, the empire reached its zenith. Karakorum wasn't just a political center. It became a vibrant melting pot of cultures. We saw traders arriving from every direction, bringing with them incredible riches. Silks, gold, furs, they painted a picture of wealth and power. It was a testament to the influence of the Borjigin dynasty, a reminder of how such empires can unite diverse peoples under one banner, each contributing to the tapestry of history.
But let's not overlook the human cost of this splendor. Those bustling bazaars were built on the backs of countless laborers, toiling long hours for meager pay. Merchants might have thrived, but what about the workers who went unnoticed? The glory you describe came at a heavy price. The Borjigin dazzled with its beauty, yet beneath that glimmer, many struggled just to make ends meet and sustain that luxury. Their stories deserve to be heard, don't you think?
The Borjigin court was truly opulent. Picture this: Buddhist monks, Muslim imams, and Christian priests, all mingling together, engaging in lively debates about philosophy in a space that embraced such a rich diversity of thought. We see here an empire built on tolerance, yes, but let's not kid ourselves. Tolerance was as much a strategy as it was a virtue. It served to keep the peace and maintain control over a vast array of cultures and beliefs.
Tolerance, yes, but it was also a facade. Religious leaders might have engaged in debates, but they were just pawns in a much larger game of power. The unity among the Borjigin was always under strain. The court's diversity, while seemingly enriching, often sparked rivalries that ran deep. Beneath that polished surface, there were whispers of dissent. You could feel it in the air, like a storm brewing, as the winds of change stirred the ambitions and fears of the people caught in the middle.
Generals like Subutai and Batu Khan didn't just lead armies. They redefined the very concept of borders. Their conquests were swift and decisive, leaving cities like Kiev and Baghdad in ruins. These weren't just displays of power. They fundamentally transformed the landscape of Europe and Asia. With every campaign, they carved out territories that would shape the future. We can see how their relentless ambition altered trade routes and cultures, forever changing the course of history.
But let's not romanticize their conquests. Each city that fell was filled with lives disrupted and communities shattered. Families were torn apart and traditions lost. The Mongols inspired fear, sure, but they also left devastation in their wake. Those thunderous hooves carried not just soldiers, but the stories of countless individuals who had lost everything: parents, children, friends. We can't forget that history is more than battles. It's about the people who lived through those dark times.
The Silk Road truly flourished under their protection. Caravans, heavily laden with not just goods but also ideas and culture, traveled freely across vast distances. As these traders moved, they forged connections that reshaped both trade and culture in ways we still feel today. The Mongol Empire served as a vital conduit for this exchange, facilitating interactions that influenced societies far beyond their borders. The ripple effects of this vibrant network continue to echo through history, reminding us of the power of connectivity.
Yet, this flourishing came with a cost. The very connections that enriched the empire also sowed the seeds of division among its people. As the Khanates formed, they began to drift apart, each ruler craving their own independence. What was once a shared vision inspired by Genghis Khan started to fray at the edges. It's a stark reminder that sometimes, prosperity can create rifts among those who were once united, and those rifts often come with real human costs.
The creation of 4 Khanates was a strategic response to the vastness of the territory they needed to govern. Each branch adapted to local customs and needs, making governance more effective. Still, despite the miles between them, all the Khans looked back to Genghis Khan for legitimacy. His bloodline was the unifying thread that held them together, even as ambition began to pull them apart. It's a classic tale of power, loyalty, and the inevitable fractures of ambition.
But that very bloodline became a point of contention. With every death of a great Khan, uncertainty gripped the empire like a vice. The Kurultai turned into a battleground, not just for power but for personal grudges and deep-seated rivalries. Families that once stood united now found themselves at odds, driven by ambition and fear. Those power struggles overshadowed what should have been a legacy of unity, revealing just how fragile their rule truly was, and how much it cost ordinary people in the process.
In those grand halls of Karakorum, the Borjigin reveled in their glory. They basked in the triumphs of their conquests, feeling untouchable. Yet, the shadows of ambition and discord stretched long around them. Their empire, once seemingly invincible, was now teetering on the brink of unraveling. Internal strife brewed, and rivalries festered. Nothing lasts forever, not even the most illustrious reign. History shows us that the seeds of decline often lie hidden within the roots of success.
That's where we leave it this time. House of Genghis Khan, Borjigin, continues. The story isn't finished yet. Find the full series on the Lineage archive, part of the Archive Network. We'll be back with the next chapter.